that time on the ship?
No,
Yes.
Never.
So we just, last week, it's been a long time since we've seen each other.
Yes.
Last week we were on the Stages Musical Theatre Festival floating sea
Musical theatre
ship.
ship.
And yeah, we've had a...
Was anybody on it? Did anybody come from here? Anybody in here? No. Okay.
Tim.
Oh, good,
Okay.
Tim. Of course, our Tim was there. So we had such a laugh. So it's a musical theatre cruise. You float, and I got asked to do it. I was very, very happy, and I was like, yeah, book me on. Sounds like good fun. And I phoned my contact back, and I was like, sorry, Paul, where are we going? Where is it going from and to? And he's like, Dublin. Very funny, very funny. Where are we going? It's like, Dublin. We're leaving Southampton on a Monday, and we take 2 days to get to Dublin. 2 days. You can get there quicker on a plane. 2 days to Dublin, very, very slowly, 10 knots the
We
whole
didn't
way.
even make it in the end,
No, we
did
didn't
we?
even get to Dublin. So the Irish Sea was too rough. We had to go to Cork.
It wasn't even Cork, was it?
Cove.
Cove.
Oh,
Which I've never heard of.
Well, that's Irish. But
Oh, is it?
It's an Irish spelling. Cove, spelled C-O-B-H.
Right.
Silly Irish.
So you had fun.
I had so much fun.
I know we saw each other a few times. I remember seeing you on my birthday, and I believe I was chasing after you, shouting, "Sing happy birthday to me!" as you were running away from me.
I was not running away from you.
You were. You
Was I
ran away.
drunk?
Yes.
Was I very drunk?
I think it was... Wow.
Wow. Let's not say too much.
You only performed one day, so
Yes,
you're-
I had most of my days were of rest, and the rest of them, one of them was.
And the
to
final day, Tim MacArthur, who's here today, was hosting a kind of open mic night, and you even got up and did an impromptu Wicked song.
I did, and so, Tim, which song did you get me up to sing for Wicked?
Popular.
Good.
Yes.
Of all the songs that are Wicked, with no voice.
I think it was Tim that got you
It
up.
was Tim. It was very
Have you ever done that
fabulous.
before?
Have I ever done what before?
Popular.
Never.
No.
No. So you got exclusive. It was
See?
the first. So
That's a reason to come on board. next year, things like
Alto
that
popular.
happen. We had Jenna Russell before
Oh, it's brilliant.
giving a
Beautiful
performance
Jenna
of
Russell.
something. I can't remember what she said.
Stars and Moon.
And then Rachel
Yes.
doing
singing
Popular.
Popular. Down the octave, of course. It was really good fun, actually. It was
so
very
good.
good.
Yeah.
And do you know what was so nice about it? Like, I adore my family. They're not here, but being away on a job for 5 days in this place, you can't get away. You can't. You're just there, so you kind of give in to just going. I'm here. With all these people, I just enjoy it, and it actually was such a rest. It was no school run, no getting up at 7 o'clock in the morning, no cooking dinners. It was such a relaxation that way, and lots of gin and tonic.
Yeah.
Cheers!
Yeah.
Cheers, everyone! Happy Sunday! My day off. Here we are.
Do you ever get people saying, okay, so somebody said to me, they were like, "Oh, tell her she was wicked in Wicked." I was like, really?
That's old.
And then I thought, I wonder if anyone said, "Oh, at least it's not the last ship."
Oh, I haven't heard that one.
Do you get people say really cringy things when they realise it's you? Or is it mostly just me?
It's mostly just you. No, I have to say that it's not as cringeworthy as I mean, you do get a couple of people saying things at stage door, you're like, it's like,
What's the worst one?
I can't even, honestly, I can't even no, but things like, yeah, you were wicked. I mean, it's not bad, that's alright, it's not a
it's
terrible
funny.
thing to say. It's funny, yeah.
Like
Just
the first
someone trying to
100 times.
communicate with you,
Yeah.
Would you say that's the first thing that made you, your name, got you out there?
Well, you know what, I was thinking about this coming in. I think there are a lot of girls that could play the roles of Elphaba and Glinda. But however it narrows down, I don't know what happens. The universe and everything just comes into play for two specific girls at a very specific place in time, in a genre, in your age group. It gets so whittled down, so small. I was the right age, the right time in my career, just everything fell into line when it did for me, and I think there's a million girls out there that can sing, not a million. There's a lot of girls who, unfortunately, I think something like Wicked will pass them by. And it's an awful lot of right time, right place. Yeah, you have to have the talent to back it up, but you know, then you have a showcase like Wicked, like this generation, this genre of music that happened at my time in my career, that I was allowed to every single night put my heart and soul into this score that has not been written again for two women since Wicked. It was a gift. It was an actual gift for me. I knew I had lungs of steel and vocal cords of steel. I've been singing cabaret and smoky clubs from when I was 9 years old. You know, so for me it was like, oh my, that's exactly what I need to show the world what I am made of. And it's all right, I've got a talent, but I was very fortunate and lucky to land that role at that particular time. And the fact that I stayed as long as I did, I think really solidified what I could do, and it made people come back again and again. And it's the show, and it's a gift, and I'm very lucky that it happened for me.
But you say, you know, a lot of people don't get this chance.
No.
You actually had it more than once. As in, the first time you got offered the role, you had to turn it down.
Well, no, I didn't get offered it. Let's clear this up. So, the first time round, this is my Wicked story. First, grab your drinks. You're in for a long one. So, Wicked was coming from Broadway to London, and I was on a tour of Tonight's the Night, playing Sweet Lady Mary. And they called you in, and I was on tour, so it was very hard getting back to London. And I had 3 auditions. My third audition was my one before the final. The American assistant director, Lisa, came over to kind of vet and see who they wanted to put forward at the very end. And I was in Plymouth at the time, and we all know Plymouth is a 4.5-hour train journey from London. So I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, get in there, and I had a window. My audition was at like 2. I was too green, excuse the prop pun, too green to ask for an earlier audition. Because I didn't want to offend anybody. And I knew the window, if I missed that train back to Plymouth to do the show that night, I was in trouble. And what happened? I missed the train. So I got a verbal warning saying, and if you go back to the final, you're going to lose your job. So I had to let it go first time. I had to let it go. And I remember crying and speaking to the casting agent, Pip Alien. She was like, Rachel, it's going to happen for you, don't worry. You're a DTL, which is down the line. See, there's news. So down the liner, that's fine. So I did my job, and then did it come up? Well, yes. So the second time it happened, I was auditioning for I'd Do Anything, the Andrew Lloyd Webber Cameron Mackintosh program, looking for a Nancy in Oliver, and I had to decide between the final of going up to Andrew Lloyd Webber's estate in Sidmonton to find out if I got on the live shows, which is what we all wanted, or go to my final for Wicked in London. And I knew instantly that it was Andrew's house, because for me at this point in my career, in my heart of hearts, I knew I could play Elphaba. When I say I knew I was going to, that's not fact. Nobody knows that. I just knew I could do this. I could do this role if I'm given the opportunity again. So I thought, I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it go again. Just relax. Come on, it's a long career. We want a long career. So I wanted the exposure on the TV shows, because I felt like every audition I wasn't getting, someone from a TV show was getting it. So producers needed a name recognised to get bums and seats in the theatres, and I thought, well, if this gives me some exposure, it wasn't the X Factor, I didn't want to be a pop star. I wanted to do this line of work, but have a bit more exposure for producers and directors, and I think it paid off. And so they pulled me out of the final of Wicked, and they were very sad. I remember Pip Alien said they were very sad to lose you, but and then it was third time lucky for me. So I was doing We Will Rock You, my first West End debut, and they asked if I want to re-sign for another year, and I said no, and they couldn't believe. They were like, why are you putting yourself out of work? Have you got something coming up? And I said, no, just in case Alexa Kadim leaves, and I want to be available to play Elphaba. And they were like, you're leaving just in case you hope someone is going to leave playing the role of Elphaba? Absolutely, yes. Because if I'm now and We Will Rock You and she leaves, I'm going to be devastated. This is how badly I wanted to play Elphaba.
Wow.
There was at that for about 4 or 5 years. That's all I could think of. It was the only role I wanted.
Quickly touching on We Will Rock You.
Yes.
I think you'd be a perfect killer queen now.
Thank you. I'd love to.
Would you go back
I
into
can't
that?
give you the job. Would love to.
I was watching some videos yesterday just to check that I was right, but your voice is perfect for it now.
I would love to.
And such great songs.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of is her show.
Yeah.
Well, it's Scaramouche, but it is.
Scaramouche.
It's Scaramouche. Scaramouche. No, that's I would love to.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I'll start.
And
start
Tim
a Twitter
MacArthur
campaign.
is Khashoggi. Hey, Tim, you do that. Guys, if anybody, I think, throw a question. If anybody
Yeah.
thinks
This
of
is
something.
an audience Q&A as well.
Yeah.
So
Please,
put your hands up if
one
anyone has a
hand up.
question
Don't be
already.
shy, we've only got
In
an
case,
hour.
yes,
Oh.
hey, go on.
So my
ahead.
mother
Go
out, she
on,
doesn't
sorry,
do
Mum,
much,
Mum.
so-
Just because we don't want to miss, if we pass a topic and someone's
Yeah, because
dying.
we're only going to talk about the same things we talk about every time. So.
What were the auditions like for Come From Away?
Really good, actually. So the Come From Away auditions happened very, very quickly in a short space of time. The breakdowns go out, they say what they want, voice range, you know, what the part you'll play, and then you just get sent the material. And you go in front of a panel, more or less about the same amount of people in this room as there was at my audition for Come From Away. And a lot of them, this is the thing, a lot of them very solemn faces, but they're keeping their powder dry, which is I've learned as I get older to not let that affect me at an audition. And I had to learn Me in the Sky, second verse of Me in the Sky, and so the monologue when Beverly, one of her chunks of dialogue that she does when she's speaking to the passengers. And then I had to do a little scene that Annette does, so I had to try and make them kind of laugh. Annette's one of the flirty ones, and she likes the men, and so I had to try and kind of convince them that I was a big flirt. And I did that quite well, and they laughed. So a couple of bits, that was it. So a bit of Me in the Sky, second half of Me in the Sky. And then I did it, came back 2 days later, did it again in front of more people. And then there was a dance call after that. So we did Heave Away, Farewell to All You Pretty Ladies, nobody sees it. Did a little dance call, and then I think that was it. So about 3 auditions. Yeah.
And the thing with Come From Away is, like, after doing Wicked and having that song, Defying Gravity, thinking that's going to be the peak for my entire career.
Yeah.
But that song, Me in the Sky now,
I know.
has kind of, it's done exactly the same as what Defying Gravity did.
Well, I think it's in there because they know that even in an ensemble piece, nobody really gets a solo as such, well, maybe Screechin and Beverly, but I think they were authentic in the fact that they use Beverly's story. She's a real linchpin for the passengers and the characters throughout the story. And I think they wanted to focus on one and give the audience a real inside knowledge of who they were and what they came from. And the song is actually verbatim, so everything Beverly says, that's more or less how she said it, and they put music to it. It's incredible. The craft of Come From Away it blows my mind. I think that's why it's won awards, because it's the craft that you put, how they have crafted this piece. It's. I mean, some people will say it is that there are faults in it, but to me, it's almost faultless.
It's up for several awards at the West End Wilma Awards this year,
yes.
including Best Musical.
Yes.
Clive Carter's up for Best Ensemble.
Brilliant.
Nathaniel is up for Best
Rising Star. Rising Star. Yes.
And you are up for Best Performer in a West End
So
show.
excited.
So, is everyone coming?
Anyone coming to the awards?
Sunday the 10th of November, Cafe de
Well
Paris.
done.
We've just put a handful more tickets on sale,
Good,
so
good.
there's
More
like
tickets.
9 tickets.
It should be
left.
good fun. The awards are always lots of fun.
They are. Sister Mary MacArthur is
Sister
hosting
Mary
this.
MacArthur will bless you all with her presence.
Not too much away. Come From Away.
Yes.
So it's about, obviously, the September the 11th terrorist attacks.
Yes.
Everybody remembers where they were when it happened.
Yes.
What was your memory?
Oh my God, it's so boring and so uninteresting. I was at the gym. Not with Jim, I was at the gym. Running on the treadmill, and you know the screens are up on the thing, and you got your headphones in, and and I wasn't on the news bulletin came up, and I swear I thought it was a movie. I was like, why are they showing this kind of aggressive movie at a gym at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon? I was like, and then all the screens started going to the planes going into the towers, and I was like, and then everybody kind of just stopped. I remember like the treadmill stopped. It was like a movie, and I got off the treadmill and went out to the reception. Was like, is there? And they were like, no. Everyone was around the TV, and that's when it broke. So yeah, it was always an event. It was a terrible event, but where I was pretty uninteresting at the gym, exercising my little ass off.
That's what I remember about Come From Away though. When I saw it, I didn't really know what I was going to see.
Right.
Stupidly. But I didn't know that happened. And it's the truth of it.
You didn't know.
I just did not know.
Because everybody saw the planes going, but no one really knew what was happening.
What was happening around the world.
No.
And this, again, the craft, what is so clever about the show, has anybody not seen Come From Away? Oh, well, have you all seen Come From Away?
Must go.
So the fact that it's off, it takes away. So when we're asked to talk about the show, we say not to say it's the September 11th musical, because it's not.
No.
We call it the 9/12 musical because it's what happened after the terrible time that happened that changed the world. So, and no one, and when they were asked to write this, because it's factual and it's so moving and heartwarming that for 5 days people gave their homes, gave their lives over to strangers, to people who were completely lost, and that's what's so special about it. That's why it wins. That's why it's a universal message.
Yeah,
it's a brilliant show.
It is a brilliant show. I'm so lucky.
Now I want to go back to Wicked.
Yes.
Because why not? And then we'll open the floor up to some more questions.
Yeah.
So get thinking about what you want to ask. But one thing I always wanted to ask you about, which fascinates me, is the fact just before, I believe, you started Wicked, you did a show called Just End.
Oh my God, yes!
Which is, for anyone that doesn't know, it's like a musical theatre satire where they rewrite musical theatre songs into kind of, it's like a news thing.
Yeah, or they're taking.
And so you did it, and you play several characters in it, but you did it with Louise Dearman, and you did a takeoff of Wicked. At that point, did you both know?
No! It was a year before.
Oh, it was a year before.
Well over a year before.
Okay.
So I was doing Rock You, and Gary Lake, who wrote it, he's brilliant. He knows Louise years, and he was like, I would love to get you two together to do my So Just End, it's called. And he hasn't done one in years, but he should. They're very funny. And so our take, he did a take on Wicked, changed the words of Defying Gravity. And Louise being a soprano and me being an alto, he says, listen, I'm going to, the fun in this is that I'm switching them. Is that we let Glinda sing Defying Gravity, and that's the joke, and I'm saying, you can't do it, or you can do it, or whatever it was. So we take the piss out of it, and this is like, we hadn't even auditioned for it. I mean, we had auditioned for it, but we weren't for that year that we both got it, and and then we both get it the following year.
So bizarre.
Isn't it such a small world? And the producers were like, yeah, we'll just forget you guys did that. Just don't bring that up.
We've got to bring up all the things we should be talking about today.
It's out there.
Now, Wicked, everyone wants to know this, and I've asked you this every time we've done an interview, but everyone always wants to know about things that have gone wrong on stage in Wicked. It's everyone loves those moments of, I've seen Glinda throw a wand into the audience.
I might have been
it might have been Susie.
Was? Susie?
Yeah, it was a matinee.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But what, apart from that, I've said that, you can't have that one. What's some of the
I thought it was part of the show.
I know, it does work, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, there's the no flies. When Alphabet doesn't fly, the cherry picker doesn't work. I shouldn't call it a cherry picker. But when the levitator doesn't work. And that happened to me maybe 4 or 5 times. And funny, I'd listened to Shoshana Bean talking about this, and it only ever happened to Shoshana once. And it happened to me 4 or 5 times. It was quite a regular in comparison. Although I was there for 3 years, so I would use that opportunity to just sing my face off more than I normally would. And of course the funny thing is that all the guards, they're like, get her, and they're like this and they're like this, and if for a no fly, they're told they have to do this. Get her! So they're all on their backs and they're absolutely mortified, but they have to go right back to make me look taller. But yeah, so they're usually, the adrenaline goes and you can kind of like, you feel like you're saving the show and kind of.
So how many times has that happened?
4 or 5 times. It happened, yeah.
Did you ever have a witch switch?
A witch switch? Oh yes. I had an ear infection, and during Popular, I thought Louise Dearman was tipping the bed. I was like, stop. I actually thought she couldn't tip the bed. So, because they're stuck to the ground, and I came off, and we switched after Popular. I got a note to them. I came off.
Who was your? What was it? Nikki
DJ, yeah. And so she came on. Actually, that's when I went off, and she came on. So I give them a heads up just before the classroom scene. I went off, or I usually go off. No, I don't. I went off and put Nikki on. So they had about 10 minutes to green her and put her on. So that's normally what happens, and if you get the chance, sometimes they have to actually stop the show and start again with a new witch. But yeah, you try and give them a heads up. That's happened. I have this holiday thing. When you go on holiday, it's great, 2-week holiday. But when you come back, your brain just is like, I'm still on holiday. So I am terrible for trying to remember my lyrics on the first night back from holiday. So it's, you can laugh, but it's the most
How were you on Monday?
Oh my God, terrible. No, but you're just living on the edge of your nerves for the whole show, and you have to pretend everything's fine, and your brain's going, what's the next bit? And this one time at band camp, I came back. And I was doing okay, and it got to the track, the lift, Fiero, for no good deed, and I was like, Fiero! Well, right, Rachel, calm down, it's only the spell, you can make it up, nobody knows what the spell is. Let his trump his sound. Let it bleed him. Let him feel no pain. And I came in about 16 bars, well into the song, and I did not get away with it.
I was going to say you started it out like a prank.
I did not. It was almost like the Suggest End. We were going, tikka masala, tikka masala, banana. Yeah.
If anyone hasn't seen the Just End, it is on YouTube. It's
fun.
Pretty funny. Do you ever watch? I mean, I know the answer is no. Do you ever watch yourself on YouTube?
Do you know, I used to. I'll be honest, I used to. And like, if I'm doing like the West End Live, I'll watch it back. Because I want to see what the cutaways are, and I want to see the audience. And because when I'm up there doing it, I'm in my own head, and I don't necessarily get to hear how I sound, and the sound is so different from on stage than what you guys hear, and so there's a lot of things that I don't get to experience what you guys get to experience. So I will if it's something like that.
There's a whole series I found yesterday of Rachel Tucker, Best Riffs and Growls.
Yeah.
Wow. I definitely don't listen to those. I just don't, because it's embarrassing.
It's amazing what's online these days.
Yeah, well. No, I do some things, but not. I used to more when I didn't have a son, when I had more time. I don't have to. I'm hardly on YouTube. Hardly even if it's a reference for a song or something I need to learn, or I'll go on YouTube. But no, and it is a bit embarrassing because sometimes the recommendations pop up. You will like this girl, and it's me. And then goes, Mom, there's you. I'm like,
is your son showing signs of?
Do you know, he's not. He is and he isn't. He's kind of confident when I'm on stage, and he kind of wants to be behind me. And he's like, yeah, it's my mom. Yeah, you know, that kind of. But you ask him to do something, and he's like, no. So he is shy. And we sent him to our friends' kind of Saturday classes, and he was like, do I have to go? I was like, yes you do, she's my friend and you better be good. I was like, but I says, no, right, and we made him he did rehearsals for, it was somewhere for the Wizard of Oz, and they all had played, he was a little munchkin, and And he was like, please don't. And I was like, listen, we're going to do the Wizard of Oz, and then once it's done, you're done, because you've committed to it. I want you to keep going to rehearsals. I want you to see it through to the end. And it was kind of that I made him do the process and commit and teach him that you can't just start something and not finish it. And so after that, I was like, oh, thank God. So although he loves drumming, we're sending him to drum lessons, and he loves it. He's got one drum. I know, right? The drum kit's coming next, isn't it, from Santa? So
happy Christmas.
Another happy Christmas, a noisy Christmas. But we'll, I think we're going to have to invest maybe a little electric drum kit, because he's showing signs of that. He's loving it, which is great.
Okay, right, your turn now. Who's got a question?
Don't be shy. Come on, think of things.
This is your one chance to ask Rachel Tucker a question with the gin and tonic.
Rachel,
yes.
As you possibly know, I see the show about monthly.
Yes.
And something's been bugging me since show one.
Alright, come on, speak up.
It was perfect. It was the first preview, and I know you've been to Ireland before. It was perfect. But here's the question. At the end of each song, there seemed to be tumultuous applause, particularly, for example, if we take your pilot song. But when I saw it again, I thought that an attempt had been made to cut out the tumultuous applause at the end of each song, so that you would say, "We've got clearance." And the audience would be jumping at the bit to applaud, but they'd have to wait to the end of the show where they completely exploded. Now, have I remembered that right?
So where did you see it? Where did they applaud? In Dublin?
No.
The
Phoenix,
first preview?
First show, London.
They were there was no stopping that audience from clapping, and I think they knew that there were no applause. There are no gaps for applause, and Beverly Bass was in the audience that night. So a lot of them seem to applaud her. Whoever's around her applaud because it's her and they're near her, and she feeds into that. She loves that. Absolutely loves it. And why wouldn't she? I would. But no, they very much. They leave. The applause has all been taken out. They don't. If we get an applause, we're not doing our job right. So it's funny because sometimes people want to after, but Emma Salvo, who plays the journalist, and Chris said to her in rehearsals, if she gets an applause after Me in the Sky, you haven't done your job right. So every night it's a competition, she's like this, after Me in the Sky, she's like ready to run up stage to make sure nobody claps.
Because it breaks the moment.
Because it breaks the moment, and they want to keep the people sitting on the edge of their seats wanting to clap and wanting to applaud and wanting to cheer this beautiful story. So you're absolutely right. And when you do hear the applause, we're not doing our job right.
That was an off night for you.
That was it was so amazing, like to have, and it is. It would be nice to pick the audience, because it's their way of letting that out and of showing their appreciation. So, but it's not for this show.
I'm so pleased you've told me.
Oh, good.
I was just not sure.
Yeah, that's right. So the two applause they're allowed is after Welcome to the Rock, the first number, and Cardiologists. When the men come out with the white coats, and that's the only time they're allowed to applaud. So there you go.
Anybody else?
Good, well noticed.
Hands up.
Yes.
Here at the front.
Just one low on
Oh, wait.
Let's wait for the microphone. One thing about Come From Away, your wig. It's very different to the Broadway wig. Although
she's not wigged.
So why do you have that bobbed wig when on Broadway it's short hair?
So that's her own hair, and I asked could I have my own hair, and they said no, simply because if you want to change your hair, there's an issue.
Okay.
This is why we're wigged. That's why all the girls are wigged and the boys aren't, which is so unfair.
Yeah, it's a good point though, because you can do what you like with your own hair.
I can do what I want with my hair outside of work. So
she could have grown her hair.
Well, the thing was, as a lady pilot, she didn't, and not many pilots are going to have nice flowing locks because it's not very professional. You can, but I think especially back in the day in the 80s when she was trailblazing women pilots, she wanted to be very efficient looking, short. She had a short bob, blonde. She was strawberry blonde. So when I went to get a wig fitting, they were like, "We love your colour. Do you want to keep the wig the same colour? We think we should. Yes, similar colour." So they wanted to look as much as me as possible, but be professional and efficient. And obviously you're not going to have long hair, so that's why we decided on a bob.
That's a wig question.
Hold on.
We're here.
Oh yeah,
wig question. Is there a reason why the standbys or the understudies have different wigs as Beverly, apart from what suits them?
No, they all have one wig. Everybody has one wig in our show.
So they'll have the same wig if they play Diane?
Yes,
and
same wig.
Okay.
So they just changed the look. They either put the hair back for Beulah, let it down for Diane, just things like that. They changed it. Tanya was on for Diane, and they made it very kind of conservative, over to the side, kind of. So they just changed them up. Yeah. So what were you going to say?
While we're talking about applause, did you, you know, when you were in Wicked and you hit that final, what I call the tuck the line this way at the end of the final quality, and people cheered over it, did that ever annoy you?
No, it's brilliant. Again, it's great. It's that explosion of the audience just wanting to scream and shout and show their appreciation of the music and the song and the artist. And so no, I loved it. I used to get a big buzz out of it. Yeah, loved it. Yes.
Anybody else? Hands? I can barely see one over here.
Over here.
It's like
this'll keep you fit.
Yeah. Where was it?
that's
Here?
just no over the other side.
Where? I've got one here.
Everyone put your hands up.
Here, put your hand up.
Right.
I'll
Come back. I'll come back.
Over there.
Sorry. Hi.
You're standing in the way, mother.
So, Wicked and Alphaba have a really strong message, and Beverly and Come From Away have a really strong message. And I know that now you're an ambassador for Acting for Others, and you're doing some singing, teaching. So what I wanted to ask is, what message would you like to put out as yourself rather than in a role?
That's a good question. What message would I like to put out for myself? God, I mean, where do you start? Where do you start with that one? For me, I love that I was on. I'll not mention that. I'm just trying to think where to start with that one. I think family's most important for me, right? So we start there. I mean, they're vital. And I pick and choose my Sundays very carefully when I'm not here, and especially Ben at the age he is. He's 6.5 now, and he's now starting to question what I'm doing on my day off, which is Sunday, and it's so sacred. It is so sacred, especially at the age he's at. So I want the family unit to be first and foremost. And I suppose in this day and age, I like to be behind women. And I think because of the roles that I do seem to play are rather strong women characters, and I think it's important, and I don't mean in your face, burn your bra kind of woman. I just mean, I think be the best person you can be in whatever it is you're doing. I think that's really who I am, and I'm always learning, and I'm always trying to encourage others to step up. And you know, I sometimes feel selfish at what I do for a living, and then my friend reminds me, he says, you wouldn't have been put on the planet, and it's not fair if you don't show and give all the talent, the experience, the heart, the love that you have to give. I wouldn't be being myself if I was to stop singing and performing as much as I do. So for me it's a very hard question to answer, but I think just putting your best self out there and sharing as much of yourself as you possibly can within protecting yourself and your family and what's most important. Does that answer it? Something like that. Anyway, it's a tough question.
You made it well up.
Right. Oh, thank you. So yeah. Anyone else?
This is a much easier question.
Thank you.
Come From Away. It never actually answers the question who David is.
Who David is?
And I haven't read the book yet, and I keep meaning to. It's Diane's something that she's worried about.
Her son?
It is her son.
Yes.
What do you think? But yeah, I've never managed to actually hear
it, have you not?
No.
Oh, she definitely says it.
It seems to be one of the mysteries.
Oh really? Maybe it's just
part of
missed.
it's probably because we listen to the soundtrack.
So when the boys are walking, when the revolver's going, and they're going, and he's like, "Oh, you're married?" No, I haven't been for a long time. Oh, I was worried about David, my son. He was flying on Tuesday. is what she says. So it's in there. It might have just been inaudible maybe that night, whoever was on, or maybe
Possibly. And
possibly.
as I said, we probably wouldn't listen to the soundtrack so many times.
Right, yeah, that's not on the
Still like
soundtrack.
British
That's not on the soundtrack.
Please, because you sing it much better.
Oh, thank you. Well, actually, I mean, I think that's something I'd like to do. Just a little EP, maybe the next thing I might do.
Okay.
Of maybe Little Me in the Sky.
Yeah.
Maybe little something that'd be nice.
Would you ever do any like Irish folk music? Because that's where you started.
Well, it is, but not Irish folk. I don't. Being brought up in it, and not that there was loads of it around. There was always music around at home. But what music I was brought up in wasn't Irish folk. It was Sammy Davis Jr., Judy Garland, Frank Sinatra, Liza Minnelli. It was all, in the musicals in that era that my dad and mum loved. And so, and then any time the Irish folk thing happened, it was just like, well, you fiddly-dee music and you join in and you sing it. You did, some of the songs to please crowds and stuff. But I don't massively love it.
Because Come From Away's got that.
Well, it is. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the music. I don't adore singing Irish folk songs.
Okay.
I think maybe it's because I'm from there, I'm from it, and you kind of, when you're at a, I just, I don't know.
Furious cover album.
No,
but you can't beat going into a pub and hearing Irish.
No, absolutely, and I love that.
Yeah.
But I don't, it's not, other people sing it better, and I love listening to it rather than singing it. I think that's what it is.
So maybe an EP on the way.
Maybe we could put that in there too.
Yeah, a bit of Killer Queen.
Oh, Killer Queen in Sky.
Yeah.
Irish Furies.
What else was I thinking you should do?
Donna Sheridan, Mamma Mia.
Donna Sheridan, Mamma Mia, yes. Do a little Donna.
Oh, there was something I thought of, I can't remember what it was now.
It'll come back.
So we normally touch on this to begin with, but we haven't. We are here supporting the National Autistic Society, raising money specifically for more accessible performances of theatre. Do you have any connections with autism, or have you ever been part of a relaxed performance?
I don't have connections as such, but I have been a part of Wicked and Broadway, and here did relaxed performances while I was there. And in fact, only just was that coming into play when I did it in America and here. It was I think it was their first relaxed performance, and I have to say, it is so moving. It is, for us on stage, we know we are ready for it, that it's not a normal performance and that we maybe don't sing so loudly, or the sound is very brought down, the house lights are up, everything's an easier, softer setting, and that there will be noise, so we're ready for it. And I think that's what's so important, because things can throw actors, things that happen in the audience, so we're ready for it, we're braced for noise, and I think it's so important. And I came off from the show in America and Broadway after the relaxed performance, and I was having a dinner at a diner just up the road, and this family were sitting behind me and they were talking about it, and they recognised it was me, or I think I said to them, "Did you come to the relaxed performance today?" And they wept, and they made me weep, and they were like, "You don't understand what this has done. We have waited. We haven't been to the theatre in years because of our son, because we can't go. We're not allowed. We're not welcome." And we both stand. We've been together at this diner, just going, "This has to change. There's got to be more than one a year in every show." It's And I said this at your awards last year, 2 years ago, that we've got to do more of these. It's got to be more of a quarterly of the year occurrence, or every 2 months or something, because
I think it's difficult because producers, especially of the big West End shows, just think, they're a bit scared, they don't really know what it is.
No, they're still,
and it can really just be a case of turning the sound down, turning the having a kind of breakout room if people want to go and do something else, and just really for us, we go to them obviously because we support them, but it's nice to not have to think, God, what if I need to go to the toilet? Do I have to get up? Or if I want to talk to someone, she's always talking. So it's just nice to be in such a relaxed environment where nobody's judging you for whatever.
And actually, or you could join in, or sing a bit, or hum, or just do something. And maybe there is something in just letting the audience know that it is a more of a relaxed performance, and the house lights are back, or maybe that it's, I don't know, if you're not, I don't know, maybe there's an offer of people, you know, on for people, it's a cheaper ticket or something for people who aren't autistic, that they know they're in a relaxed performance.
Yeah.
I'm not politically correct, but it's something to encourage regular theatre goers to be among people who do with autism who need more relaxed performances.
Doing this, I found it sad the amount of people I've spoken to in shows who have said, "Oh yeah, I've got like Luke Bayer last month. He's got an autistic sister, and I think she had managed to see him." But the amount of people I talk to that say, "Yeah, my brother or sister has never seen me perform because there's never been a relaxed performance of it."
No, they need to.
And I think it's, you know, what we're trying to do here is raise awareness. It's not necessarily about spending hundreds of thousands of pounds on changing the way you do a show. It's just maybe, you know, obviously you run a small theatre in Penge. For something like that probably doesn't have, you know, massive lights and sound and things. It might just be a case, I mean, I don't know if you do them, but it's in those situations, it might just be a case of saying, this is going to be a relaxed performance, just to make people think, oh,
I will.
You know, what is this?
I want to see if that can happen this year, actually, and put my money where the mouth is and actually have a relaxed performance. This year's Bridge House Christmas show. We're going to make that happen.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Well, I would love to come to that.
Right,
happens,
okay,
you know,
okay.
I wasn't going to come back.
Great.
I live in Paris, so I wasn't going to come back. But if you do that, I will come back.
Okay,
for
well,
it.
brilliant. Okay, that's good.
Okay, anybody else got any questions?
Burning desires.
We've got 10 minutes
Hey,
left.
I can go over.
You're doing a tour next year with Judy Garland songs. Could you tell us a bit more about that?
Oh, yes. So next year, I am doing 4 dates of the music of Judy Garland with a massive big orchestra, and we're touring. We're doing London Festival Hall. Is that right? Thanks, Wilma. We're doing Cardiff,
St David's Hall, Birmingham Symphony Hall, and Manchester Bridgewater Hall.
Yes. They're April and May next year, 4 dates, and I mean, I got what did you research? I got asked to do, and I mean, it's always been a burning desire for me to do the music of Judy Garland, and then they came to me with this, like 2 months ago, and I was like, what? Yes, of course I want to do it. I adore Judy Garland. I mean, who doesn't? But yes, the opportunity happened, and I jumped at the chance. Are you going to come? Are you able to come? Oh, good. It should be fabulous. We'll have dancers and singers from the West End, and with an orchestra. It's going to be fabulous.
You're not going to do your Liza cover?
Like Tucker with a T?
Yeah.
Okay, so
anybody
got this? So I rewrote the lyrics of Liza with a Z. You know, it's Liza with a Z, not Liza with an S, because Liza with an S goes nuts. So she's got this fabulous song, and I thought, how fun would it be to? It's Tucker with a T, not Tucker with an F. Because Tucker with an F goes not. It's T instead of F, not F instead of T. It's Tucker. As simple as could be. It's Tucker. So yeah, and that's going to be on the EP too. That's a good one. That's brilliant.
3 months last time.
And so so that's a little Liza connection, a little Judy Liza connection.
Have you ever met Liza?
No, I haven't. Do you know what? It was the most heartbreaking. I exited the Nancy programme, I'd do anything, and the following week they all got to meet Liza because she was playing the Coliseum. And talk about eating humble pie. It was my birthday, and my husband had bought me tickets to go and see Liza Minnelli. And we were up not in the Gods, but maybe it's a dress circle, and they had all done the workshop that week with her, and Sam Barks did it, and the last 3 girls met her in workshop with her, and it was fantastic. And I had just exited on a cabaret. Like, talk about humble pie. And there I was, waiting on Liza coming on, and they went, ladies and gentlemen, before, no, it wasn't announced, you just saw, whisper. Andrew Lloyd Webber walked down the middle aisle with his Nancy's in tow, Sam Barks, Jessie Buckley, and Jodie Prenger, and they all took their positions in the front row watching Liza Minnelli like this. And there was me and a guy up in the Gods going, it could have been me! Oh, yeah, humble pie.
Just because of the Andrew Lloyd Webber thing, and you know, he gave you so much praise, and then you went on and you did a workshop for Love Never Dies.
Yes, it's Edmonton, yeah.
But you've never done, correct me if I'm wrong, an Andrew Lloyd Webber show.
Well, there we go. Because I've been booked. I've been busy. Honestly, not for no other reason other than, same with Cameron, I've never done a Cameron McIntyre show. I would absolutely love to. I would jump at it, but I've either been in We Will Rock You, which is Brian May, Queen, Wicked, which is American, and Come
If
From
you
Away,
had to
which is American.
choose a Andrew Lloyd Webber and a Cameron McIntosh show to do, what would you do? You could pick one.
Oh, okay. Do you mean when they collaborate? No, they haven't collaborated.
No, like if you could do one, like Sunset Boulevard,
I see,
or
I see.
if you had to pick one show that you'd love to do.
Okay, and I would love to play Ellen in Miss Saigon. That's Cameron's show, isn't it? And then for Andrew Lloyd Webber, I would love Sunset. Give me a couple of years. Give me a couple of years and we'll do Sunset. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah, I love that show.
Yeah.
Also quite like we like to do the one woman show, Andrew's show. What's his
Tell Me on a Sunday.
Tell Me on a Sunday.
Yes.
I'd love to give that a go.
Yes.
That's nice, isn't that?
I love that show.
Yeah. So there's a few.
Okay.
So just been too busy. Sorry, Cameron. Sorry, Andrew. A bit busy. No, that's just been the way. Just the way that it's worked out.
I have a couple of questions from a lady called Jane who had tickets to be here today but can't be here.
Sorry, Jane.
What role would you like to play that you haven't already?
Oh, well, two or three I've just mentioned.
Yeah.
Sally Bowles and Cabaret. Make it happen, somebody. Calamity Jane.
Oh, yes.
Oh, God, I'd love to play. You see, the thing is, right, I'm not a trained dancer. So and that's because why are you laughing? So, I don't know. That's what I'm not. I mean, I can move. So all my auditions, all my years coming up to auditions or whatever. Like I did a year at Royal Academy of Music, and we did a couple of dance classes. But it's not. It wasn't. I'm not a trained. I didn't do 3 years at Arts Head with the dance like your pants off all day every day.
You were great on the ship.
But so a lot of the roles that I would love to play are dancer based, sadly. So either you need to be a great tapper, I can hoof it a bit, but I'm not a tapper. Like Singing in the Rain I'd love to do, or did I just say that? What else? Calamity Jane, she's a tapper. So they would need to really, really want me to play it and then be willing to teach me it, and be willing to take the time and it's not undoable, but it's just I kind of can, I'm not your regular triple threat that can just do everything.
I mean, you've got a good voice.
So
growing up singing,
yes,
there must have been one point where you sang as a child or a teenager, and that voice came out, and was there a point that you just went, oh?
Well, I think no one doing that and being very encouraged by my father and my mum, and my sister was a great singer, and she did Amdram and took me to rehearsals, and so I was always surrounded with it. I was always encouraged, and I do remember very specific. Was it the early 1990s Live Aid? Was it? And Tina Turner was at it and singing, and I remember showing off to mum and dad and going, "You're simply the best" in our living room, and I was like 8 or 9. I remember impersonating her and going, "Bah, bah," and I remember mum and dad going, "Oh my God, Rachel," and seeing the look of surprise on their faces and copying her sound and that belt and that tone and just kind of, taking the piss out of it and just making people laugh. And then I started singing with my dad at the weekends in pubs, and that was, you gotta have a gimmick. That was my gimmick. A little Tina Turner thing at the end of my set list, and the audience used to go mad for it. And so by singing at the weekends and just putting my voice into practice every weekend with this style, or it got stronger and better. And so, that was a very specific moment of me of going, God, I can see what I've done to my mum and dad. I mean, they're a bit biased, but I got a reaction, and I remember just then going further with that.
Do you ever do it still now, like nights on stage when you hit notes and you think, wow?
There's more. There are nights that are better than others. There are nights, absolutely. Like if I technically change something or I enhance what I'm doing at a certain part of Me in the Sky, or if my voice is willing on that day, it just every day changes. And also pre-menstrual cycle is a nightmare for me. Honestly, it is though. It's science. My voice doesn't sound the same coming up to my period every month, so I have to do a lot of compensating around that time. I have to drink a lot more water. I'll maybe take some anti-inflammatories. It's just, you have to compensate then. So there's those nights you go, well, my voice isn't going to be top, you know, I'm not going to get those pingy notes or whatever, that certain sound that, you know, some nights I do surprise myself, oh, it's good.
Okay, I think we've got time for a couple more questions, so now is the time. If you've been shy before,
Yes.
see a hand over there and a hand there.
Don't be shy.
I nearly finished my drink, so we've got to go.
That's how you know the show's nearly over.
That's an hour done.
I've got a question as well.
Oh, good.
Go on then, while you're running.
About, this is amazing for me, Julie's green room.
Oh,
I cannot believe
oh my God.
you've done that.
I couldn't believe it either. So Julie Andrews' Green Room, it's on Netflix. And they asked me to do it when I was doing Wicked on Broadway. So all the puppets from, Sesame Street?
Well, they look a bit different.
No, they're not. It's not Sesame Street.
No.
So it's massive on Netflix for kids.
Has anyone seen it here?
Julie's Green Room, yeah.
If you've got grandchildren, you
I
would
love
seen
it. It's fabulous. Yeah.
My granddaughter adores
that
it.
was a treat, and
Yeah.
so I get to
Love it.
be with puppets for a day at the Gershwin in New York, and I did Menzel. It was great. And Juliet, well, she wasn't there.
Oh.
Yeah. She was in the studio.
Okay.
Yeah, if you weren't in musical theatre, what would you be doing?
I had that question.
A PT, a personal trainer. Fitness has always been a massive, massive part of my life. I was a cross-country runner from the age of maybe 11, 12. I won All Ireland Girls Triathlons. Sorry, I came second. Don't say one when you didn't, Rachel. I came second. My teammate beat me. It was a sprint finish. Under 16s, All Ireland Triathlon. When I had to swim something like 30 lengths, had to cycle in the cold in Ireland, 25 miles, and then run 4.5 laps on the track, and I came second. So I would be that. I would be a trainer or in the gym, fitness. I love, love, love that. So that's what I would be.
If you could play a character but it was the opposite sex, what would it be?
Opposite sex. Jesus and Jesus Christ Superstar. Jesus Christ. Of course, the only time you can swear. Yeah. Or Judas. I'd love to play Judas. There's a nice role reversal. What else is a great male role? Well, I sing Waving from Dear Evan Hansen. That's quite a nice male role. A bit young.
Not male, but Blood Brothers.
Oh,
You'd
Blood
be a great
Brothers.
Mrs. Johnson.
Yes.
I'm going to start a thing to bring that back, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm going to start a campaign.
Oh, I'd like to see that, Mrs. Johnson. Yeah,
Yeah, you'd be a great
yeah.
Mrs. Joe.
Yeah. Mrs. J. Anybody else? Any other questions?
Is that you? Oh, that chair's getting in my way.
Put that chair there.
What's it like playing such an influential character and being that person on stage, and then also being so influential yourself?
Oh, thank you. I mean, I do honestly think I think I'm born with talent, but I also think it's been nurture and nature, and I'm very happy that it's happened the way it has happened for me. I'm lucky, and I know how fortunate I am for people to look up to and to play these roles that are so influential, and that's why I think your question earlier, actually putting my Rachel Ritalik, which is my real name, my foot forward and being the best person I can be, and then through these characters that I've been given, these gifts, this job that I get to do and love, and I'm so lucky that I get to say this is my job, and to inspire people is a gift, and it's to take people away from their worries and their woes for an hour and 40 minutes every night is a joy. And putting my worries and issues aside maybe of that day and just forgetting everything, like going on that cruise ship, just like I can really forget about my family and everybody and everything the minute I step on stage. And it's a gift, and I'm very lucky, and thank you, and I hope I can carry on inspiring people and through roles and through myself. Thank you very much.
What a better way to end.
Oh.
Thank you all so much for coming and supporting this great charity. Thank you to Zadell for having us for the last 5 months. This is our last one.
Oh, is it?
Oh. Thank you to Ollie taking pictures somewhere, Willy and Ian filming, And yeah, thank you for supporting this great cause, and I hope to see you at the Wilma Awards on the 10th of November.
Yes.